inside our courses, and the second reason, the second dimension of this project being very special is the methodology that we used during constructing the content and during offering the content to the users. So I will start with the first dimension, which is connected with our choice of the target. The target group divided into two subgroups. First is, which is natural. First are those mediators, cultural mediators that are professionals. Believe me that in Poland, for example, there doesn't exist this kind of profession at all. At least it is not registered formally. So that's why in many countries in Europe, the cultural mediators do their job only on part-time job or treat as a skill or additional competence or cultural competence, as we mentioned before during the previous session. So we divided our target into two groups. First is cultural mediators by profession, and we offer them the support for their existing vocational training, something that was added to their education, previous education, and the second group, or all those, the majority in my country, who work as if they were cultural mediators, but in fact they are, for example, social workers or counselors, educators, health assistants, and police officers, or even border guards. So this was the second type, the second subgroup of our target. And for the second group, we offer the procedural knowledge and models of procedural knowledge and skills that aim to extend the competencies they already have in a specific area of the contact with the immigrants and with the problems of immigrants. As a result, we kept asking ourselves whether the cultural mediation is a profession or is it rather a mission, something more than only a profession. And we keep asking ourselves, we discuss it continuously, because one of the surprising for me results of our study, sociological review, within the SONETOR project was that not only the knowledge, not only the main skills are necessary to become a good cultural mediator, but also social competencies, so-called soft competencies, are necessary to become a good mediator. So as was said in the conclusion of our study, of our research, the cultural mediator is rather, his role is, or her role is, to continuously accompany the given immigrant or a group of immigrants in their new situation, the new problems, the new and different for them realities, and then to be a guide to the complexities of their situation in the host country, and then to explain these complexities and differences, and in the end to help in practically solving them. So these are not only the professional competencies, there are also soft competencies that are necessary as something added or crucial. It seems to me that it's rather crucial because those people that we were asked during our studies were convinced that the second are of the same importance as the first one. So what are the social soft skills of cultural mediator? For example, to show understanding and to be patient and to be open to the otherness and to like what you do. So the involvement, commitment was necessary to become a good mediator. It is not enough to be good professionally, but it's necessary to be to have some added value in your work. It's not necessarily the mission, but I would call it doing your job with passion. So this was expected result of our study. We end up with 5 core competencies that were pointed as most important in our research, and it was mentioned by Achilles before: anthropological and sociological knowledge, and communicative skills and the linguistic competence, and also the patience and openness and tolerance, and in the end the pragmatic skills. So this is the first new result, innovative result for us, that we have to somehow cope with this double-barreled sense of the work of the cultural mediator. First is to be a good and competent professional, and second to be a companion for the immigrant. This is the first dimension of this project being so special, and the second is connected, the most important is connected with the methodology that we applied in designing the courses and in providing the courses with the content. We divided our offer into two subsets. One was called the guided courses, the second was called the unguided courses. It means that the first one was more or less inspected by the moderator, and the second not that much inspected. The first was not inspected 100%. It was also open for the cooperation, for the discussion on forums or on blogs, etc. So it was also changed. It was not fixed. The very new idea was that all of our courses were based on short and convincing stories taken from a real life of immigrants. A bit of case studies that we've done were the source for our starting point for our scenarios that were based on short stories. And then we elaborated the scenarios, and they became the unguided or guided courses. And what was also important, that each course was connected strongly with assigned to expected learning outcomes that were similar to those that function in a European qualification framework. And that made our project very European. And then what's new, that each user can do on his own individual steps within the platform. So it is not necessary to follow a fixed path of the steps within the course. Each course is open. You can pick up one step from one course and another step from the other course, and to make and produce your own individual path of learning. You've got the decision points in the courses, and you can decide where to go inside or outside this course, and to follow the steps that are provided within the one course, or to go to another course and pick up new portions of knowledge from the other one. So this was new. Of course, we provided a massive background links and background knowledge to support the learning process. They were not mostly obligatory. There was nothing obligatory, nothing mandatory in this kind of philosophy of peer learning. But we provided the huge context, further readings or documentation, databases, and case studies described from various countries. It was interesting and supplementary for each course. The most important thing within our project was that it was, we call it mashed up. Each course is mashed up with the other courses. So you can go step by step, but you can also go from one course to another course, because it was easy. It was easy because the courses are linked with the use of keywords, with the use of tags and this kind of thing. And also they are mashed up, they're aggregated with the help of the users. And users could make their own aggregation of the sub-steps of each course and to produce their own set of content, learning content. And the courses were also mashed up with social networks. And this is, for me, it was not a surprise, because I'm used to know how many good things going on the social networks. But for this reason, it was doing, because the activity of the users is not only within the courses, but it's also outside the courses. They They make huge discussions not only within the forums on the course, but also outside on social networks like Facebook, for example, or LinkedIn or Twitter. And as Achilles mentioned, that learning was a philosophy of peer learning, but also peers and self-testing and peer assessment, which is not that obvious. It's quite new that you can assess not only from the outside, from the inside. And our experience shows us that it's also effective. It's of the same quality level as assessment from the outside by the experts. And our courses were open for as I mentioned, for online and offline discussion, and they are still open. We want to keep them open, and in this sense, our project is open-ended. And our courses, of course, were free of charge, and I hope that they will still be. And they were based on a real-life experience of not only the designers, but also of the users. This is the very idea of these two kinds of scenarios. They somehow have to do with the idea of Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, in the sense that that in our project, the content was almost 100% produced by the users. And this is the very idea of Web 2.0 philosophy, that you produce the effect from the bottom up and not from top-down attitude. So this is one thing. The second is that we also tackled the idea of the philosophy, the methodology of Web 3.0, because we made a kind of content crowdsourcing. We believed in our project in the wisdom of a crowd, which is strange, but it is effective. It turned out that the crowd, the mob, sometimes, many cases, is very wise. It's very wise. And so I call it a pro-am attitude in learning. Pro-am means that we meet professionals with amateurs. We can call them amateurs because they never did the professional culture mediation, but they still have some experience. And bringing together the experience from me and from them, we will turn out with a good result. This is the result, the added cognitive value of our project. And when we obtained also a feedback effect, in the sense that we, of course, inducted the activity of the users, but vice versa. The users inducted the activity of us, of teachers, of professors, and we became more creative, more innovative because of their impact on us. So this goes on in both directions, toward them and vice versa. And what I want to say in the end, that it seems to me that this project is worth continuing, and it is sustainable. And we can also go beyond the idea, even further beyond the idea of peer learning. And what are the possible directions of going beyond, of doing maybe the continuation of this project, maybe be a bit of follow-up for the SONETOR project. There are many possibilities. I will show you just some of the possibilities that are present now. First is MOOCs, and second is OERs, and also open badges and chunking of content and tinkering. A few words about each of them. MOOCs, as you probably know, are massively open online courses. These are free classes usually, and they've got a huge following. The average now, this in 2013, it was 50,000 students per each course. They read all the components that are needed to learn away from the traditional classroom, in the same way as we did in our SONETOR project. They've got a broad community outside the course on social platforms, but also inside each of these courses. They are moderated and mastered by learners and experts and coaches, and usually they are certified, but sometimes you have to pay for a certificate, but it's not a huge sum of money, so it is affordable. There are, for now, there are 4 main startups. They offer good courses on the market, this kind of MOOC courses. It's Coursera, it's a consortium established by Stanford and Princeton and top American universities. And the second is edX, as consortium as well, established by Harvard University, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Berkeley University, and they offer certificates and even credits. And it's also Udacity, it is a company, most focused on computer science. It gives good certificates and even offers you the resume that is sent to their partners. So when you want to become to get the job in their partner, including Google or Facebook or Bank of America, can get the opinion, the review of your results from the Udacity directly. And there is also Udemy, which offers good courses because they invite big names. They pay them a lot, but you've got to pay some sum of money to get the certificate from Udemy. There is also a new wave of open educational resources. There is also a new philosophy of open badges. Of your interest could be, for example, a Khan Academy, very good example, and also a Mozilla Open Badges that are offered. They reward individual progress in knowledge, and they offer you this kind of badges that you can exchange for credits in certain several universities, mainly in the States and also in Japan and India. And there's also a new approach of chunking of content. We applied it in a sense. It's a modulation of the structure of the course, but also of the content. And in the end is the new attitude that is called tinkering. It is learning by doing. You do not teach anymore. You just offer your pupil with the basic blocks and with a set of tools, and leave them to do what they want. And they somehow produce, and they are somehow invited to do what they got in their mind. So it is their creativity is used as a leverage for the end to the project, and the results are very convincing. So these are the possibilities that we can follow to continue with our project. I hope we will manage to do some follow-up and innovation, maybe within the same group of partners. I hope for the good future of the project. And the last word I want to say, if I can, is that coming here we heard a lot about the crisis in Greece. Greece is under crisis, yes? And it seems to me when I look for my friend Achilles, Professor Achilles Kameras, the other person from Greece like Katrina, Konstantina, Spiridula, Titika, and the others, and when I look around and see this group of fascinating, committed young people working mostly on a voluntary basis, but very determined, dedicated to the project. I believe not only for a good future of the project, but I believe also that maybe you've got the crisis in economy, but definitely you do not have any crisis in mind. There is no crisis of spirit in Greece. So I believe in a good future of the project, and I am also sure that you will overcome every obstacle in your country, and that's what I wish. Thank you.